The Adam Project is a new movie coming straight to Netflix, and it reunites Shawn Levy with Ryan Reynolds from their Free Guy days, just last year in fact, although delayed because of COVID. But I also like to think of this movie as the spiritual sequel to 13 Going on 30 because it has Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, and both films, in some context, both have time travel. But regardless, I was lucky enough to see this film early, so I'm gonna give you my quick thoughts right now. Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and being here. I'm sending a ton of positive vibes your way. But in this movie review, I'm here to give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler review for The Adam Project and let you know if it's worth a watch today. So, we have The Adam Project coming straight to Netflix, and it is, of course, directed by Shawn Levy, and you know him from such films as Free Guy, Date Night, The Internship, Real Steel, and the Night of the Museum movies, and it stars Mark Ruffalo, Ryan Reynolds, Walker Scobell, Zoe Saldaña, and Jennifer Garner, amongst many other actors. And the film is really about a boy discovering himself from the future in the forest, and they go on an adventure to try to stop time travel. But is this movie worth a watch? If you're a 12-year-old kid, I think you will really enjoy this movie. Or if you're a family with smaller children, and when I mean smaller children, I just mean kids that are not teenagers yet, then I think you guys will enjoy this movie. There's nothing really insulting about it. But if you're not a part of those two categories, it really pains me to say this, but I don't think that this movie is really worth a watch. And it pains me to say this because this film has a ton of potential and it actually has some really great moments in it. Very similar to Lilo and Stitch, where the family drama really works and the alien subplot with the Confederation and all that other sci-fi technological mumbo jumbo doesn't really work. Very similar to this movie. The family drama, the themes, the messages, really do work in this movie, and there were some great scenes that were, quite frankly, getting me emotional. But the other half, the sci-fi stuff, the time travel stuff, it was really, really boring, and I wanted to check out of the movie. But the family parts really kept me invested. But for the most part, that is the reason why I don't think this movie's worth a watch, is because half the movie really does work, but the other half of the movie really doesn't. And you can honestly take that logic and put it into absolutely every single part of the movie. Like the comedy. Some lines I thought were actually really great. Right off the bat, little Adam's getting bullied and he's like trying to make fun of the bully's dialogue. Like, who talks like that? Are you like the bully starter pack from Amazon? And I'm like, you know what? I like this kid. This kid has some spunk. This guy has an attitude. But then again, there's some other lines and there's some other moments, like, again, minor spoiler for one of the jokes, but it's a terrible joke. Ryan Reynolds, when he comes back in time, every time he coughs, he farts. I don't get it. It's never explained. It's just really stupid and not very funny. But then there's a scene, again, minor spoiler, but again, this is not like a big plot point or anything. Of course, little Adam is getting bullied. So then Big Adam basically says, all right, this is what you need to do, kid. And then he ends up going to the bullies and basically just roughhouses them a little bit and really just scares the piss out of them. You know, that's funny. But there are other scenes that are just, you can just tell that they're really forcing it. You know, there's banter between Mark Ruffalo and Ryan Reynolds, and you're like, you know what? I know you guys think you guys are being funny, but nothing really funny is actually happening. Half the movie, the jokes land. The other half, they don't. The action sequences, half of them work, right? The close-to-close, hand-to-hand combat, I thought really did work. But all of the spaceship maneuvering stuff, again, maybe it's just because it's a Netflix film, and for the most part, the CGI does look okay. But again, it looks so okay that it looks almost fake. Almost like Matrix Resurrections. There's nothing wrong with the CGI, but something about it just looks too clean and it looks too fake. It really takes you out of the movie. But the hand-to-hand combat stuff, that was pretty exciting. I wish we saw more of that. And in terms of the plot, I really cannot tell you who the villain is, what they want, how they really play into anything, how the time travel actually works, who invented it. Well, I can tell you that, but I won't spoil it. But why it was happening and all this stuff, it really does fall to the wayside because they don't present it in an entertaining way, because it's just told to us. Oh, this character wants to do this because of this, because of that, but you don't feel anything. And because you don't feel anything, it's hard to get invested. So when you're just constantly being told information, it doesn't really resonate with you. It's not very cinematic when a character just says, yeah, we need to do this because this character who you've never seen before and you won't see for another 30 minutes into the film wants to do this to you. Oh, okay, great. Again, you don't really feel anything there. But speaking about feeling, and this is where I really want to like this movie, and I will give this movie props for this stuff. It really does tackle really deep issues. It's about dealing with loss in a family, dealing with how to be a better father, telling your kids that you love them, dealing with resentment towards your parents, becoming a better mother, being nicer to your mother, being nicer to your father, being aware of how you interpret emotions and how your actions and your behaviors affect the people around you. And there's like a scene almost like Good Will Hunting where a character is basically saying, I love you, I love you. No, it's okay, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I love you. And I'm like, this is getting really emotional, and all this stuff really does work. Some people might think it's cheesy. Like if you guys have ever seen Real Steel, minor spoiler for that movie, but when you have the kid, you know, slow motion looking to Hugh Jackman and he's just crying, I'm like, okay, that's a little sappy, but I get it. And Shawn Levy is really good at those human emotions. In Free Guy, I really felt something there. So with the character to character dynamics, great job. The story itself was kind of a dud. And thank God for this cast, and thank God for these human to human interactions, because they really did save the movie. They really elevated this material, because the material isn't anything particularly new, right? It's E.T. because you find this alien spaceship out in the woods, but of course it's you from the future. So then you get some Terminator stuff going on because you gotta erase the past and yada yada yada. And of course you're jumping from timeline to timeline. So again, there's some fun to be had there, but I feel like they just do not get very creative with it. There's some fun car chases, of course, but then the climax, I really did just check out. Some of the CGI in that scene, especially with the de-aging, just looked comical at this point. And on a personal note, Ryan Reynolds is from my hometown of Vancouver, so of course he really tries to promote the Vancouver film industry, and this movie was shot in Vancouver. I recognized a lot of the streets, a lot of the locations, so on a personal standpoint, that was great to see. Overall, this movie just, it just misses the mark. I'm gonna give this movie a 2 out of 5. It's okay, it has some really great moments in it, but as an overall story, it's kind of messy, it's kind of sloppy, but it has its heart in the right place, and I will give the movie that. One of the quotes, I believe they were talking about the Romans, and they're talking about some band that also said it. It's like, enjoy yourselves because later is sooner than you think. Something along those lines, where we as human beings constantly strive for perfection and we don't really pay attention to the present moment. Again, the heart of this movie is in the right spot, but overall, it's a miss, guys. It's not a hit, it's a miss. So those are my thoughts on the Adam Project, but if you guys really did love it, let me know down in the comment section down below. And again, guys, more power to you. I wish I was in your boat with this one. And thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you guys like this video and you want to see more videos just like it, then definitely hit like and subscribe. And my Patreon link is down there. You can join the exclusive community just like these wonderful people right here. Make sure you follow my partners at Movie Scene Canada as well. Their link is down below. And follow me on Letterboxd, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at BrandoCritic. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.